Good afternoon, everyone. We haven't been here for maybe a week or so. I haven't posted any new podcasts because, of course, I've been, busy, so forth. But I did mention last time I was here that we would continue with, we would bring you something new. Well, actually, it's not new. We're going to talk about Serpentine Fire. And of course, this relates as well because we've been covering Kemetic mystery systems, Kemetic theology. We've been talking about a whole plethora of things in regards to the nine ether. We covered Hero of the Gods. We talked about the 6 protons, 6 neutrons, 6 electrons, and how that they're related to our life essence and existing. And I also wanted to, kind of follow up on that, mention some things that go along with that, because I had mentioned last time that the 6 protons, 6 electrons, 6 neutrons are the lower or higher vibrational, should be rather, frequency of the emanation of 9 ether beings. Now, of course, it was mentioned that there would have to be some extensive study in this as to, what was mentioned before, when I had said, could be that the mark of the beast is the 6 ether man, or the 9 ether. Listen to me now. The 9 ether having been lowered to the 6 ether element because he lost his way. Okay, and so you'll have to make, spiritual sense out of this when you do the research. And I had said that it could be that the 9 ether man, and I would even venture to say now that the 9 ether man and woman, when you look at the culture, how the 9 ether man and woman has lost their way in the cosmos, in the spiritual cosmos. And so, if in fact, according to Revelations in Isaiah, where it talks about, and there have been studies done where it's been said that the 9 ether persons, or the 9 ether entities, man and woman, the duality, is the mark of the beast. Now, also, what was mentioned was you can't look at 6 protons, 6 neutrons, 6 electrons. You can't look at this with the evil, connotation or the way it's been given to you over time. Okay, because when you hear this from coming across the pulpits and churches, and how it's coming from more of a Western theological projection. So when it's given to you, immediately you connect the dots that it's coming from a Western ideology. So right away, your mind just says, because of your thinking, it just automatically goes to, oh, it's evil. It's evil. But on the Kemetic side of things, and what you have to understand is that everything has been learned from Kemetic mystery systems. And so this is what I've been trying to get into your spirit. I've been trying to get this into your car. that anything that you hear coming from Western theological ideology comes out of Kemet. And when other people get a hold of stuff, they bastardize it. I've said this many times before, okay? How they twist it. They take your ancestral science of your ancestors and they twist it to benefit them. They twist it to benefit them. And they use the science to keep you in bondage, while in fact, they use the science for themselves to elevate themselves. You follow me? And so this is what you have to understand. You have to understand and understand that your science is being weaponized against you. So when I said that chances are that the mark of the beast could be the mark of your ethereal being of a higher source, because you fell from your nine ether state. And so to raise yourself up again, to reach that nine ether state of existing and being, this is intrinsic in the whole system of Ma'at and Kemetic theology, And if I'm wrong, of course, I will come back and I will correct myself. Okay? But this is what I'm trying to get you to understand. See, because let's face it, truthfully speaking, culturally, our people have fallen from the nine ether state, And although they have all the components that can get them there, we have substituted for a lower base, and you've heard me say this as well. We have substituted for a lower base, six ether existence. And why do I say that? I say that because look at our culture. Look at our culture. Everything with our culture is about materialism. We are dwelling in the carnal, physical realm of existence. This is what I'm talking about. And so, and then what has happened is you have religions like Christianity, Islam, all these other religions who are basically talking from a how can I put this? I guess from a progenitor's position in regards to, we are this people, historically we are the people that the Bible talks about. We are the Kemetic people that Kemet talks about, because we were in the land, our ancestors were in the land. All of that's cool, and all that, a lot of that is, all that is true. But we have to go beyond that. See, because what is actually happening is we're still trying to prove when we shouldn't be, because it's already been proven. We're still trying to prove that the Kemites were black. There's so much consternation now around the globe with other cultures trying to usurp and appropriate black culture in every way. And so while some of that is relevant we shouldn't be, this is just my opinion. We shouldn't be spending a lot of time. And what I'm giving you, I'm not trying to spend a lot of time on whether or not the Kemites were black. I already know they were. I'm not trying to spend time on whether or not Sumer, the people who came out of Sumer, were black people. They were. Because without the debate or argument, I'm not trying to spend time on whether or not the African has established all cultures around the globe. There's not, because he has. He has. He did. It's been done. I'm not trying to spend time on whether or not all the deities were black, because they were. See, and the fact and the anthropologic and archaeologic and linguistic, fossils, all of this has been proven. There has not been one ancient white skeleton that has come up in antiquity that is millions of years old. You haven't found one. They're still digging. You're not going to find any, because anything you dig up is going to come up black, because we have inhabited the planet for millions of years, even billions. Okay? We brought the cosmos down to Earth. We inhabited not only the universe as it relates to, the primordial mound on Earth, when Earth was brought into existence by the Noon and by Asar, and by him enveloping himself and becoming an entity that spoke into existence all of these elements, but we even inhabit the galaxies, the star systems. And so it has been reported that black extraterrestrials and entities have been viewed, have been seen. And the trick of the enemy has always been to discredit it with drawing little funny looking alien men with big eyes and big heads. See, all of this kind of stuff is a distraction, because they don't want the world to know. Okay, we've been dealing with that forever. So I just wanted to mention that before we move on. And as we look at this Serpentine Fire, and all of this comes out of the Kundalini, and it's about raising your chakras, and to the point where you are able to harness that Serpentine Fire, that heat, which we all have, which only indigenous dark people, hued people have in this planet. We are those entities that keep the planet warm, and we can harness that heat. We can harness that heat. We can harness that heat. We can weaponize that heat. We can weaponize that Serpentine Fire. We can weaponize that through our Kundalini, because trust me, they're trying to access the Kundalini, and we already know that the melanin is a conductor. We already know that we have the properties. We are electric beings. We have the property to harness, to pull in energies as well as give out energies. So we have that Serpentine Fire to harness it. This is why now they're playing with the weather. And if you've noticed, the weather is not the same. You have to really be, connected to what's going on spiritually. As I say this, the weather is doing, because they're playing tricky things with the weather. There has already been reported through the government, through the Pentagon. These people are playing with the weather, because what are they trying to do? And I've said this in another podcast before. They're trying to block out the sun, Because again, we're talking about magnetic energies. We're talking about sulfur that's emanating from the sun that's a benefit to us as opposed to a lot of other people. It's not a benefit to them. Okay? So we have and can harness that serpentine fire, that we can use that serpentine fire as a people. And I encourage you now, I encourage you more and more to hone in on your third eye, where you bring in that serpentine fire. And again, I'm telling you guys, you have to start eating right. You have, it's critical. You are what you eat. This is why a lot of y'all cannot reach that next dimension, because you're putting all the wrong things within you. You're putting all the wrong things within you. A lot of you stink spiritually. Don't take offense to that. I'm telling you the truth. A lot of you stink spiritually. You're toxic. You're toxic. When you go to the bathroom, you probably can't even stand to smell yourself. You know why? Because you're toxic. You're poison. You have a lot of poison in you. You have a lot of poison in you. And I say that because I need you to raise your kundalini, your vibration, where when you go to the bathroom, you don't even smell it anymore. Because I don't. And how do you do that? You do that by juicing a lot of greens. Greens wash your body from the inside out. When you juice greens such as kale, cucumber, celery, put a kiwi in there, put a plum in there in the juicer, and drink that. And for those of you who are just starting, do it slow, but you can start. And what it does, it washes away the toxins in your spirit. It washes away the toxins in your body. Get rid of the meat. Get rid of a lot of the meat that you're eating. Give up chicken. Give up all that red meat. Get that out your diet. Get the dairy out of your diet. Get the dairy. Don't give your children whole milk. Get that shit out your diet. It's no good for you. Give up dairy. Give up cheese. And a lot of you that are addicted to that stuff, slowly give it up. It's not helping you. It's killing you. Give it up. Give it up. And by this, what you're doing is you're washing away the toxins in your body, and especially black men. You know how we suffer from prostate cancer. You need to give up all those things that are not good for your prostate, such as tomatoes. Tomatoes are not good for your prostate. I stopped eating tomatoes a while ago. I don't buy tomatoes no more. Give up the dairy. I've given up dairy for the most part. I don't buy ice cream. I never did really like whole milk. No way. I was buying soy milk at one point. I stopped buying that. So I do a lot of juicing with greens. I don't use deodorant. Give up all these fake deodorants you use, putting all that stuff under your arm. You get bumps under your arm and those chemicals that you putting in your body. Because when you juice greens, such as I said, kale, chard, or arugula, you put a piece of pineapple, put a piece of some blueberries in there, a kiwi, you know what I'm saying? A mango, you know what I'm saying? And of course, you got to cut the mango off to get the seed out and all that, those kind of things. But when it cleanses your body. And when you go to the bathroom, there's no smell. You don't even stink. See, because a lot of us are toxic. And that's why I said you are what you eat. And like I said, a lot of you can't stand yourself when you go in the bathroom because you smell like you dying. You smell rotten because it's all that bad food you putting in yourself. Okay? All that red meat, give that stuff up. Give up the fat. I've said this in many other podcasts. Give up going to these fast food places to eat. Don't do it. Fix your own food. Plus, a lot of these folks are nasty. putting their hands all over your food and you sucking it down, and come on, really? So anyway, we're gonna get into this, and probably what we're gonna do is we're going to pick up on another episode because we won't have enough time to finish. But I wanted to drop that on you so that we can begin to live clean. And this is how we raise our kundalini. This is how we raise our vibrational frequency. And this is how we bring in that serpentine fire. You have it. You just have to cleanse your temple. This is what it's about, y'all. You know, even when you read in your Bible, you know, it talks about your temple. You think something pure and righteous want to dwell in a rotten temple? No. Come on, y'all. Make sense out of stuff. You know, make sense out of stuff. Common plain sense. You know, I wouldn't. If I was a righteous, ancestral Holy Spirit, I would not want to dwell in your temple if you were rotten and stank all up inside. And I'm just not talking about what you eat. I'm talking about how you think, what you say out of your mouth, you know, how you treat people. All of these things have to be lined up spiritually for you to raise yourself up. You are your salvation. Understand that. Nobody else is coming to save you. Get off of that. You are the salvation that you need. You are that salvation by how you treat your temple, because it's within your temple where the Ka dwells, where that holy vessel dwells, where that holy soul dwells, is inside of your temple. And you have to treat that temple holy. You have to treat that temple righteously by what you put in it. Excuse me. So let's read some of this, and we're going to come back with another episode. Okay? All the proverbs featured below have been taken from Kemetic yoga. It says Egyptian, but you know me, I'm going to use the proper word. The philosophy of enlightenment by Ma'ata Ashby, Kemet, ancient Egypt, was known as the most spiritual of all lands according to the book of the coming forth by day. Now, this comes out of Mayat, okay, the book of coming forth by day. The eternal soul comes to earth to learn certain lessons and to become purified. Listen, to become purified. Life is a journey because a journey is unknown. The essence of this journey, according to, is the personal search. The personal search is one of two paths. And I'm just kind of giving you a synopsis briefly and how you could formulate this higher essence of being. The path of passion, which requires many incarnations, births, and deaths, and many painful and happy life experiences, and the path of Mayat, truth which enables one to accelerate one's evolutions towards perfection. And I said this before in another podcast about perfection. See, because you've been told that you can't reach perfection. You can. You can reach perfection by what you do. You know, and you've heard people say, oh, ain't nobody perfect. See, because these are the kind of words, excuse me, these are the kind of words that are used in the English lexicon or within this Western system. So they want you to believe that you can't be perfect. Our ancestors had reached the height of Christhood where they were perfect within their spheres of being. They were perfect. In Kemet, the creator was known as the Nectar, or God, the Nectar Ru, God's manifestations. That which is the fundamental truth, the substantial reality, is beyond true naming, but the wise men call it the all. Salvation is accomplished through the efforts of the individual. Listen, there is not mediator There is not mediator between woman and his salvation. See, they want you to think that is a mediator before you can get to perfection in your God state. A sage is someone who loves impersonally, someone who realizes in their deepest heart that there is no reality outside of the supreme nameless netter. The noblest employment of the mind is the study of its creator. This is what we're doing. Listen, it says the noblest employment of the mind is the study of its creator. That's the noblest attribute you can ever have, is studying your creator. It's trying to reach your God state. Follow your heart throughout your life. Do more than is required of you. Spend no more time on daily care than required by your household. When wealth ultimately arrives, follow your heart, for wealth does no good if you are downhearted. See, and see, it makes you understand how asinine people really, how discombobulated, how so off track, so how unaligned and unbalanced people really are. People would rather have wealth. Well, let me rephrase that word, because wealth is different from riches. People would rather have riches and notoriety and fame rather than having their spirits right. You understand what I'm saying? So this is why the world is so toe up, because you have so many people who have riches and fame and notoriety, but spiritually they're a mess. You follow me? Spiritually, they are a damn mess. They're not aligned with the universe. And this is why you can have our people, no matter how high they go, or no matter how high the station in life they reach, materially and notoriety and so forth, they're still trying to kill one another. Now look at what's going on right now. Excuse me. Look at what's going on right now. You have those in those circles who are trying to take one another out, trying to take Jamie Foxx out. Look at it. These people have all the riches in the world, but spiritually they're so unbalanced. They're not aligned with the Creator. They're not aligned in their higher essence of being, but they have all the riches in the world. And that's why it says you can have all the riches in this world and lose your soul. Because they have not changed their internal workings. They have not changed their internal dwelling. They have not changed their internal self. They are still dealing in the low animal ka. And this is why this is. Justice is done to they who is love, punishment to they who do what is hated. Life is given to they who are peaceful. Death is given to the criminal. So a lot of people are running around. They have criminal element of thinking, of being, existing, projecting criminal energy. You see what I'm saying? And so they're doing all these things because they haven't internalized the creative source to elevate themselves. Netter God is the father of all of beings. Netter is the eternal one and infinite and endures forever. Netter is hidden, and no man knows Netter's form. No man has been able to seek out Netter's likeness. Netter is hidden to Netteru, gods, goddesses, and men. Netter's name remains hidden. It is a mystery to his children, men, women, and Netteru. Netter's names are immutable. manifold, and no one knows their number. Though nectar can be seen in form, an observation of nectar can be made at nectar's appearance. Nectar cannot be understood. Nectar cannot be seen with mortal eyes. Nectar is invisible and incrucible. Nectar to nectaru as man. And this is why, I talked about the formless entity before. That's the nectaru. It's the formless entity, and although it can be depicted through metaphors in the universe in terms of air, wind, trees, fire, so forth, so on. Men are mortal netarus. Gods, netarus are immortal men. Make yourself the object of intense study and you will discover netar. The closer you get to the truth, the simpler it is. Truth is not simple except to those who know everything. The wise person who acts with ma'at, truth, justice, righteousness, order, is free of falsehood and disorder. The law is cold. Truth is cold. Asat is blindfolded because justice is unprejudiced. Truth has the force of emotion behind it. Truth and knowledge produce courage. The law of nectar are the first thing the seeker will find on the way to the truth. Those who live today will die tomorrow. Those who die tomorrow will be born again. Those who live Ma'at will not die. And this course is truth, reciprocity, justice, and those principles that are connected to the Ma'at. Nupu, nectar, I am the supreme divinity. Ba'apet ata. Soul is of heaven, body belongs to earth. Okay, and it talks about Nu'ak Kuakaba. Second, my mind has pure thoughts, so my soul and life forces are pure. And so what we're going to do, we're going to pick this up and we're going to come back. So you guys stay with us and we will return in a little bit. Okay? Stay present.